welcome back to another episode of the Big and Blizz podcast. This is episode 23 that we are currently recording. It's been a minute. We took a couple weeks off because of holidays and stuff. But just jumping into it, there's some sad news in the sports world right now. And unfortunately, news broke last night that Super Bowl champion and five-time Pro Bowl or All-Star, whatever, Demaryius Thomas passed away at the age of 33. The report that I read today, the updated report, was that there was a call to 911 for a cardiac arrest at his house in Georgia. The cops got there, had to force open the gate, and when they went up, they found him laying on his back in the shower. And the report says that rigor mortis had already set in, so they declared him, deceased as they got there. I don't even think they attempted CPR. I mean, obviously, if rigor mortis is set in, you're done. There's no coming back from it. But it's a really, really sad day. He played for the Broncos for the majority. Like, that's what he's best known for.
Yeah.
I think he also bounced around to the Jets and the Patriots, but those were short stints. He actually was the receiver who caught Peyton Manning's career, like his record, most touchdowns in one season, record reception. And most people will remember him by catching a pass from Peyton Manning and going viral because when he caught it, he was running in the end zone saying, "What is it? What did you say? This is too easy, or it's so easy, or something."
He said it's so fucking easy.
Oh, so it's so fucking easy because
playing with Peyton probably. I feel like playing with Peyton and Tom.
Yeah, towards the end, the backside of their career, especially.
It would have been so easy, just like the way that their mental game works.
As a receiver. Yeah,
because especially when you're a receiver like Demaryius or these other guys.
He wasn't no chump either. He was a great receiver on top of having one of the best quarterbacks in the world.
Yeah, and just like to me, it's like Chad Johnson, those guys who didn't have like the greatest quarterbacks their whole career.
Yeah.
Like when you have a great quarterback, it's just like in your craft is you're really good at your craft. I feel like it would just become so eeasy to do what you're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely, it makes you look even better than you are. But again, he was no slouch. He was. Didn't he run like a 4.42?
I don't remember.
No, that was somebody else we were researching earlier. But not only did he pass away, but New Orleans Saints player
4.38 is what he.
4.38. So yeah. But it's still fast.
No, it's fast. His Wonderlic score was kind of low.
Oh, yeah, the Wonderlic score, there's so much controversy around that. For the people that don't know...
It was the highest for the wide receiver in that draft.
Holy shit. But for people that don't know what the Wonderlic is, it's a test that they make these players take, and it's like, I don't know, it's like, what would you do kind of questions, right? And then math and all this shit, and they try to determine on how good or bad of a person you are by generating a score, which... There's a lot of fucking controversy around that shit. And, I mean, you can't judge somebody by the score. Like, there's people like Aaron Hernandez. I think actually he had a low Wonderlic score, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure there's players that score low that turn out to be upstanding citizens and amazing people. And I guarantee there's ones that scored high that were just shit people and broke the law and did dumb shit.
I thought it was on a 0 to 100 scale. It's on 0 to 50. So, I mean...
There's not much room to really...
A score of 20, so it essentially is an aptitude test for a prospective employer that bases it on your cognitive ability and your problem-solving aptitude. Is what it's 12 minutes to answer 50 questions.
Jeez.
And so it's one of those things where you don't have time to like work everything out.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was on a scale of 0 to 100. That's on me. 34 out of 50.
That's not for 12 minutes,
Yeah.
So, and a lot of these players, like, are, have, a good amount of college, that they've gone to college for more than a couple years. But a lot of these players do the one and done, or was it 2?
You have to do it.
You have to do 2 years in college for football to make the NFL? Or you have to be out of high school for at least 2 years?
You have to be out of high school for at least 2 years.
So a lot of them just go, and some of the guys that aren't, academically good, they get pushed through from the athletic department, pushes through.
Or they just take easy classes, just enough to
the bare minimum. Yeah.
And so
there's a couple players that go back after they retire or in the offseason and pay out of pocket because once you go to the NFL, your scholarship's gone. And they pay out of pocket to actually finish their degrees. There's actually a player, I don't know, I'm pretty sure he's still offensive lineman for the Chiefs. He's from Canada. He's French, like, you know, the French Canadian, and he is actually in the offseason, he's taking like PhD classes. Like, he's like a doctor. Like,
that was Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol did the same thing, but there's
in the off season, he would literally go and he would sit in on surgeries and like.
Yeah, that's exactly what this one's doing. And then when COVID broke out and shit, he was like frontline in Canada. Like, he interns at an emergency room up there. But he's like, this guy's like, I bet you his Wonderlic score, if you can 0 to 50, probably scored 100. No, but so not to skip over Glenn Foster, because R.I.P. to him as well. Ex-New Orleans Saints player, was he 33 or
31?
31. Demaryius Thomas was 33. He not allegedly, I guess.
He was arrested Friday night, so last Friday.
High-speed chase.
He was clocked at doing 90 and a 45. And so they tried to pull him over. He didn't pull over. The chase reached speeds of over 100 miles an hour and was only stopped because of a spike strip that was set out. And then when they tried to get him out of the car, he fought being taken into custody.
Resisted. And he was a defensive lineman?
Offensive lineman.
Offense. He's a big boy.
No. Defense. That's on defensive lineman, yes.
Yeah, he's not a small guy. And you got to think, these guys, that's their whole career, is throwing people around. So if you're resisting the police as an ex-player, defensive line especially, or offensive line, you're probably putting up a big fight.
So the dad of him told the Washington Post that his son was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and recently had a manic episode and needed medical attention. But when he arrived at the jail, Dad was informed that he was involved in another altercation with an inmate and was now under the jurisdiction of the county because of it.
Yeah. He ended up dying in police custody.
And so there was an officer I read in here said that he was trying to help get him out on bond. I don't remember. But the dad's claiming that since Friday night, because this was written on the 8th, so that would have been Wednesday. Mm-hmm. He said since Friday night, his son hadn't had any medical or mental health help.
Yeah. Sad. And they don't know the cause of death, right? Or they're not. It hasn't been said.
So there hasn't been, according to the family, the sheriff's office said there was no incident when he first was placed in transport. They were told they could not see him because of COVID restrictions. The family has many questions, and it's being investigated by Alabama State Bureau of Investigation.
Just a sad situation all the way around. No matter what happened, running from the police and all that, I mean, it's... mental health is not a fucking joke, and it's sad. It's sad, and as a society, we still don't have the tool. We still don't know how to grasp and actually give the help that's needed. But a lot of times, help's not even offered. You know, and we've lost a few friends to mental health and suicide and stuff.
Especially males. Males is a huge.
Oh, absolutely, and there's a stigma, especially as a black male in society. There's always been a stigma about not being weak and showing and admitting mental health. And thanks to players like, I don't know, Dak Prescott. I'm a Cowboys fan, so it's the first one that comes to mind. And other people for stepping up and speaking about it publicly.
Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall was like the first that I remember. Yeah, oh yeah. He's a huge
opponent.
Yeah. And then, you know, and that's like what really fucking pissed me off is when Dak came out and did that interview and spoke on it, that Stephen A. Smith trashed him for speaking on it. You know, he ran his comments back and apologized. Oh, I don't think he ever runs his comments back. He says, I said what I said, but he apologized or whatnot, but whatever. But that's the stigma right there. That's why people don't like to admit mental health or bring it to the public, because motherfuckers like Stephen A. do that shit.
And
You
it's
know
a
what I'm
lot
saying?
of the older generation.
Yeah.
Really, like
Man up.
mine and your generation, we grew up being told to man up,
Yeah.
or there's no crying in baseball type of stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I feel like our generation is starting to try to look the other way. Not everybody, obviously, because when when you're taught a way of life, it's hard to break that cycle.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%.
So there's a lot of people who are starting to break that cycle, and it's just gonna be a continuation of things. Like it's not just gonna be overnight. Everybody accepts mental health as an issue.
Generational,
Yeah.
And so, like we teach our kids about, to be unbiased and fair, and hopefully that'll carry over, and all that. But with Glenn Foster, like the manic and the mental health, I mean, again, I always think when I see something like this and mental health brought up with especially NFL players, the first thing that goes to my mind is, could this possibly be, related to like CTE,
Well, so when I was reading more of that article, I guess he did go before a judge, and he wouldn't talk to the judge at all. He didn't answer any questions, and so they actually ended up holding him, and they wanted to review his mental state. So they had him on a no bond, couldn't get out, and were waiting to do a mental evaluation on him.
Would think that he'd be safe in a cell.
Because they said they didn't see anything in the courtroom that would lead them to believe he was in danger.
Yeah. So besides, they
were worried about his mental health. So
and that altercation that happened, but I mean, chances are he probably could defend himself pretty well, being,
Well, and it doesn't say in that article whether he's the one who initiated the altercation.
the aggressor. Yeah. And it doesn't say to what, like how bad it was either.
No.
Could have been a verbal altercation.
Yeah, I just said altercation. And that's the thing is, he could have been having a manic episode.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have had meds and not been on them. A lot of people that are bipolar and manic do that, where once they start feeling good, they say, well, I don't need these, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
And then they go down that rabbit hole, and it's like a cycle. And so, but hopefully that the family gets answers at least. I don't need answers.
Yeah, no. I mean, and if we see any updates to, either of these untimely deaths, we'll update. And,
from the information we have, it doesn't look like
there's going to be much.
Well, I was going to say, it doesn't look like there's negligence on anybody at this point.
Yeah, the Damaris Thomas, they said there's no foul play, suspected it was cardiac arrest. And who knows what underlying issues he had, or if he even knew.
It's just one of those things. And statistically, this is a weird statistic, but statistically, African Americans have a higher rate of heart disease.
Heart disease, yeah.
It's a crazy number too. It's not just like, it's like 20% higher or something like that.
That's wild, man. That's crazy. It's crazy because we're all the same as human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some of us are darker than others or lighter than others. We all bleed the same blood. We're all the same as a human race. But it's weird to me that what's the disease? And it's only African American people can get it. Damn it, it's gonna irritate the fuck out of me. I'll look it up. But there's diseases that only one race can get or whatnot, and then the percentages of heart disease and all that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna Google this right now. It's that's gonna piss me off. One of the rappers from Mlb Deep actually passed away from sickle cell disease. So it affects blacks almost exclusively, is what this, and I'm reading from this on Google. 10% of blacks in the United States have one copy of the gene for sickle cell anemia or whatever.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's a condition where blood doesn't have enough healthy red blood cells. So your blood doesn't. I don't think it's clotting, but yeah, that's as far as I've ever been aware, and I could be, not what's the word? Not educated enough on that, but as far as I've always known it's exclusively to African Americans.
It's actually 30%. I thought it was 20%.
The heart disease?
Yeah, it's 30% more likely to have heart disease.
That's crazy.
Than any other.
And that's so wild. I wonder. I get like evolution in a sense. Like if you don't use something like for so long, like if a monkey doesn't use its tail for fucking eons, then slowly they develop no tail. They start, there's no tail. I wonder if there's any correlation to if it's maybe the food, if it's difference in appetite and stuff like that or whatnot. But I mean, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, so I'll never know. But to stay on the NFL, how about Josh Jacobs?
Oh, with his kids?
Yeah. See, 9 kid, about to have his 9th kid with an 8th baby mama, a woman. Like, this motherfucker he can't even pull out his own driveway.
Facts, man.
Like, I just don't get, I wonder, I'm going to check out the age gap between his kids, too. Like, did he just all of a sudden get signed to the NFL, start just blowing loads? Like,
hey, maybe. Like, I couldn't, honestly, I couldn't fathom having 9 kids.
Well, I'm sure they don't live with him.
Oh, I know.
All of them, at least.
But I'm just saying, in his case, like his child support bill?
Jesus.
Like, that thing's got to be high.
He's 23, bro. 23.
With 9 kids?
He's about to have 9, yeah. He's
had some since at least college.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to look at the ages.
And, yeah, so, like, I just couldn't fathom, like, his child support bill.
Oh, hold on. Let me walk that back. Because there's a lot of different articles that said this. And it says, some odd rumors surfaced on Tuesday suggesting Las Vegas Raiders star running back Josh Jacobs is the father of multiple children with different women. Samuel Clement Inoku of Black Sports Online published a story featuring a report alleging the 23-year-old athlete has as many as 8 children with 8 different women. Well, there's a discrepancy because the other report said 9 women. 9 children with 8 women. The source also claimed a 9th woman, is expecting a child with Jacobs too. After seeing his name tossed around in such a manner, Jacobs felt it was best to address the situation head on, taking to Twitter to deny the rumors. And this is, quote unquote, from Josh Jacobs' Twitter. MFs will say anything for some clicks and likes. The Raiders star seems to think that BSO, which is Black Sports Online, is simply hunting for clicks and using his name to do so. Jacobs also suggested that he may involve his legal team in the matter. He also said, quote unquote, lawyers about to have a field day with this one. So, I apologize. I read this report on multiple sites, which were probably just resharing the original post or the original story.
Or a version of it.
You're right. So, from what he's saying it's all cap, and his lawyer's about to get involved. So, let me walk back my statement, my comments, and we stand on what we said about it. I mean, if it was true, what we were saying is, that's how we feel, but it obviously allegedly is not true. So,
and if you do the math on it, at 23 years old, 9 kids is a huge number.
You'd have to have a set of triplets. You could Adrian Peterson, but he didn't do it I don't think he had them all at 23. You're right, but it's
possible.
Doable. Wilt Chamberlain claimed to have slept with over 5,000 women. I mean, if you got that super sperm where you spit on the wall and she's pregnant and you're not wrapping up or pulling out, it is plausible. It's possible.
But I mean, if it's coming from his mouth saying it's not,
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. So
unless we start seeing receipts, bro. You
know
what I mean?
And they have to have the blue check. I'm sick of these people trying to share receipts and screenshots of celebrities messaging them. Where's that blue check? Exactly. That's not it. Yeah, that's a screenshot. That's all cap. So. Again, fake news on the Josh Jacob, Jingleheimer, Schmidt, and kids and all that stuff. And I guess I should have done more research. That's my fault. With that being said, how about Antonio Brown? Speaking of fake news or fake vax cards.
Hey, man.
He just.
We knew the penalties were coming down.
Yeah. One, that's what they're saying. He just took the penalties and is forfeiting an appeal.
Well, how did they word it? Misrepresenting his vaccination status?
Yeah, to us it'd be
defrauding the federal government.
Yeah, CDC.
Might have to be clink, 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 bat, bat, bat.
Right.
Woo, woo, woo. That kind of shit. Bro, I'll be in jail.
Yeah, the gavel would be struck and we'd be fucked.
This man's over here misrepresenting. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, bro, you're a fucking peace pipe smoking ass.
Well, and that's the difference between our tax bracket and his. You know?
Facts.
So, but yeah, so we reported on this a few episodes, or maybe it was last episode, it's been a couple weeks, about allegedly having a fake Vax card that he gave to the Buccaneers office and front office, and now he's just taken the punishment and forfeited an opportunity to appeal, because he knows if it comes down to that, there's going to be a lot more, because he's going to get found out. And it was also a wide receiver. Was it? Mike Edwards. I think that's his name. He got the same punishment, which is 3 games without pay. So I'm guessing that one of them said, "Hey, bro, I get these fake fax cards." The other one said, "How much does it cost? Give me one." You know.
What was AB trying to pay? $500? Is that what it was?
Was it? I thought it was 50.
It might have been, bro, though. The amount he was willing to pay did not seem relative to the charges that could come with it.
And what did we learn about this? What was the educational point in that whole story on the previous podcast?
Pay your motherfucking
people. If you have, and not only not saying just give money for no reason. He had a personal chef that allegedly he owed 10 G's to, and he got, now just think about that. I wonder how much his game checks are, because he's going without 3 game checks. Was that worth $500 or whatever for a fake Vax card, and the $10,000 you didn't pay this fucking chef? That's the only reason that it broke. News broke, and they investigated. At the moment, it might have come out later some other way.
Yeah.
But the chef blew up the spot and put out fucking text messages and receipts, probably with the check. Pay your motherfucking debts. Pay your people. Not, it was a bitch move on a chef's part either way, but I don't know. Somebody owes me 10 racks. Oh, okay.
10 racks is a lot.
Maybe not to that chef. Who knows if he's a personal chef for an AB and probably other celebrities.
I mean, that might have only been 1 month worth of work.
That's what I'm saying. A month's worth of work is still a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but to somebody, that's what a whole, like, if you're just get on a whole, for him, that's what I'm saying. Maybe 10 G's is what he charges a month.
Got you. I thought you were saying
get stiffed on a whole month worth of work.
Yeah, I thought you say downplaying it, like that might have just been.
No. What I'm saying is, like, if you think about it prospectively, that's a whole. I'm assuming that's for a personal chef on this level.
Yeah,
10,000 seems right around a month's worth of work.
Hell, it could have been a few months, but yes, I agree.
And just so your boss just says, "Hey, I'm stiffing you this whole month's."
Oh yeah, your dirt's coming out, bro.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Everything.
It doesn't matter your level of income at that point. It's a 30 days worth of you ain't getting paid.
Yeah, it's the
which is something wild I learned the other day about the NFL. I assumed, because obviously we know they get game checks and stuff. I assumed that there was some kind of through the off season where they made money. No, bro. If you're well, they've changed it a little bit. I guess I saw some. You don't get paid for preseason.
Really? I didn't know that.
You don't get game checks really in the preseason. Like you get your signing bonuses and stuff.
Okay, but if you're Joe Schmo, like you're like the third string.
So your game checks start week 1, and then just boom,
16
boom,
of
boom,
them.
boom, boom, boom. That's it.
That's crazy.
That's it. It doesn't matter if you go to the Super Bowl. There's not game checks for the Super Bowl. There's bonuses, obviously.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
But I guess
the
new bargaining agreement extended it from 16 weeks to 36 weeks. So now your checks are broken down into 36 weeks. But that's still not a full year.
No.
And so that's why when people hear these NFL guys in the offseason having to get side jobs or they're broke, it's because they live way outside their means.
Or they're a Joe Schmo player, not really good.
Well, and the thing is, when you get drafted and because the league minimum right now for a rookie is $600,000.
Yeah. And when you get drafted, you get more, no matter what draft pick you are. I mean, obviously, number one's going to go down a bit lower, but if you're actually drafted, you're probably not going to be on league minimum. Even if you're the Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick, you're probably not going to be league minimum. But mind you, people think that once you get drafted, everything's good and it's set. No, you still have to go sign paperwork, and you have to reach an agreement. Yeah, you can get cut in training camp, and that's why you see like the draft happens, and then months later in preseason or training camp, you'll see news. Oh, well, the first overall pick is now signed. Like, they're still negotiating the contract. Like, you could walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look at the stuff with Eli. He said he wouldn't play for whoever, San Diego, allegedly, and he ended up going to the Giants. I mean, because they knew that just because you draft somebody, you own the rights to them, but you still have to agree. If you're asking,
because you can't force them to play.
Yeah, if you're asking an astronomical number as a player, as a draft pick, and the team's like, "Fuck no," well, this is what I want. We're not going to see,
with the new collective bargaining agreement they have, it's kind of gotten rid of that.
Okay.
Because now their structures. It used to be that a first overall pick could be like, "Nah, I want more money."
Jamarcus Russell.
Now,
Jamarcus Russell asked for like $50 million.
Now it's like, I think picks 1 through 10 have a cap. There's a ceiling. Like, you can't pay him more than this.
Gotcha.
And that's how it's broken down. Is like each round has a cap where you can't, players can't do that whole pay me $100 million on my first contract type shit.
Yeah. Well, so going back to the AB, I don't know what his contract is, but when he was signed to the Raiders at one point, it was like $100 and something million. It was an astronomical number. So you break that down at the time over 16 weeks, 16 games or whatnot. Actually, 16 games, 17 weeks because of bye week. So taking a game
they get a check on the bye week.
Okay, so 17 weeks then. Now it's 18 weeks then because there's 17 games and one bye week in between. So his game checks were probably fucking millions. Each game check is probably a few million for AB. Oh, I don't know what he signed with the Bucks. I think he signed.
His base salary isn't even $1 million with the Bucks.
Okay, it's all incentives then.
It's $916,000.
Oh, okay. So he's losing maybe. He's losing like under like maybe $40,000
signing bonus,
like $40,000 each game, which is fucking still big.
Yeah, so it's like $2 million signing bonus. $916,000 is the base salary.
Is that signing bonus on the back end, or is it factored into his game checks?
Usually signing bonuses are set on a date.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they get paid full on that or whatnot.
Yeah. And so it says per game. So each game that he's active, he's given a $52,000 bonus.
I was saying 40s. So
No, that's his bonus.
Oh, bonus.
If he's active that game, he automatically gets $52,000 extra.
Shit. What's his base then?
His base is that 916. So divide that by
17.
17 or 18.
Or 18, yeah. So like 40 something thousand. So he's going to be losing about $120K for this fucking stupid shit of not paying $10K to your chef who blew up the spot.
Well, he could potentially make himself lose more because these are his other incentives.
Oh, the bonus too, because he's not going to be active.
So if he gets 50 receptions in this year, he gets $333,000.
Being suspended for one game could fuck you off that.
If he gets 70 receptions, it's $333,000 more dollars. Receiving yards, he has a $600 or 600 reception incentive. That's the same amount of money.
600 yards.
600 yards. 800 yard one, which is the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Touchdowns, there's a 5 incentive, which same amount of money, and 7 touchdowns, same amount of money. And if they win the Super Bowl, and he's played 45% of the offensive snaps in the season, $250,000. Yeah.
So
this man could end up costing himself
a lot of fucking money,
millions.
Yeah. So it all circles back to our point. Pay your fucking people. $10K plus, say he paid $5,000 for that fucking card. $15K. I mean, I get. It's not that simple actually, because he's obviously not wanting to get pricked. Doesn't want that shot. So that's a risk he was willing to take. But again,
just do what the other guys are doing and just don't do it.
Yeah.
And deal with the
consequences or whatever.
Side of it.
But again, I guess it goes back to, if he would have paid his chef, this shit would have never been leaked, or most likely never been leaked. And there's a good possibility he gets away with it. Or maybe they just catch him up some other way. But still, pay your fucking people. Boom, done.
Well, that's the thing is, if you think about it, like if we look at people that are on a way bigger scale than Antonio Brown, like El Chapo.
Oh, God.
Dude's a bad guy.
Yeah, 100%.
But motherfuckers never flipped on him.
No.
For 2 reasons. Obviously, one of the reasons are they were afraid they would be killed.
And their whole family.
But the bigger reason is like
he took care of his
he
people.
took care of his people.
He took care of the fucking neighborhoods out there too. And that's why the neighborhoods wouldn't let the police even get to him for most of the time.
Yeah.
It's because he was giving back and fucking building things.
And I'm not saying he's obviously not a good person.
No, not at all.
But his mindset of being loyal to the people around him,
It was strategic.
kept him from being caught.
For a long time. And helped him escape twice.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
AB.
Strategic, but El Chapo was strategic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and we all know AB isn't strategic. He's very emotionally driven.
Yeah, very. I don't know. It's almost like it seems manic, but I don't want to say that. That's kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It kind of does.
He's came out and said he has mental health issues.
Yeah, but I don't know what.
Specific.
I don't know what they are. You know, but I know that we're pressed for time for this, so let's get to the. You want to talk about the fake slide rule? I mean, you can explain that better than I can, probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, so a college quarterback. Well, I don't remember
Pitt,
college.
for Pitt.
Oh, was it Pitt?
Yeah.
He was on a scramble, and the video legit looked like he was gonna slide. The fact that he stayed up with how far his leg got underneath him,
his knee was maybe an inch off the ground.
Like they had to have instant replayed that, making sure his knee.
And he's practiced this. There's no way he hasn't practiced this.
Oh, facts. And he did a fake slide, and you could see one of the defenders that were bearing down on him, kind of like went from breakdown mode to get into a tackle to like fully stood up, like he thought the play was going to be over.
Yeah, he let up.
And this dude just nope, like puts a little shimmy move on and keeps running for another like 10 or 15 yards or something like that.
Yeah. So with rules in college and NFL, if a quarterback slides feet first, you're not supposed to touch them. If you're already in the air and active, you're supposed to try to move your body weight, like try to ease up or whatnot. But as soon as they slide feet first, the quarterback is down and you can't get a hit on them. If they go head first, you lay those motherfuckers out. Just no helmet to helmet and shit. Yeah. So what he did is he fake slid so the defenders would ease up, which it worked.
It's like this thing I do it on Madden sometimes.
It's like a pump fake almost.
We call it like when you back juke on Madden, they do like that dead leg kind of look. Mm-hmm. He did that in real life though. Yeah. Like he hit like the full like dead leg look,
the stinky leg,
just and then whoop. Never mind, guys.
Right. So the NCAA, because of that, well, I'm guessing not just because of that. That was like the last straw. Has put a rule into effect, or is putting a rule into effect, and it's going to be outlawed. You can't fake slide. So. That's that. What do you want to move on to? I got Deshaun Watson. Unless you got something.
Well, I was just gonna say Mac Jones.
Oh yeah.
Rookie quarterback who is leading the number 1 team in the NFL.
In the NFL or the AFC?
No, the AFC. They have. What do they have? 9 wins now.
Do they? Yeah, I'll look at it. Go ahead.
I think it's 9 wins now.
I got
after last night, or not last night, but their 14-10 win.
Yeah. Which that'll segue into that too.
Their 14-10 win. I think they're the first AFC team to get to 9 wins. I believe is what it was.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Either way, they're the first in the AFC.
Yeah, 9-4.
Yeah. Is there anybody in the NFC with 9 wins?
I think the Cardinals. Let me see.
Oh yeah, maybe the Cardinals.
No, Packers, Buccaneers, Cardinals have 10. The Cowboys have 8.
So Patriots are leading the AFC. Mm-hmm. I mean. What'd they do last year?
They're tied for second with a couple other teams in the NFL.
Yeah. So, what'd they do last year? We all know what they did last year. Not much.
Shit the bed.
And we all have heard the stories where, like, Belichick runs a tight ship, blah, blah, blah. So, I guess Jones turned down a chance to chat with Peyton Manning on Monday Night Football.
Which is weird. It's so weird to me. Unless Belichick was. And
Jones said, I texted him this week he was on some radio show. I'm not going to get into the details, but I think we're just focused on the game. He said, the Patriots do a great job of helping me stay focused on what I need to stay focused on.
I mean, I get it. When you're on a hot streak, you don't want any distractions. But I mean, it's still kind of weird to me because it was just him going on Peyton and Eli's Monday Night Football cast that they do, like that Zoom thing. So I get it. He said, but I don't.
it says, did Jones just have his phone turned off? Possibly. Jones is like, I don't know half the time if my phone's off or on, but I definitely don't go on my phone that much. He said, I just don't really look at it or focus on it unless one of my family members calls me.
And he's supposedly he's got a really like brilliant mind, like the playbook thing.
He said, I feel bad sometimes that I'm not able to talk to everybody that wants to talk to me, but I have a busy life.
Yeah.
It says whatever he's doing is definitely working for him. Mm-hmm. His Alabama team went undefeated, won a national title, and it seems to be working very good for the Patriots this year. Sorry that he missed your call, Peyton.
Yeah, I'm sure Peyton might understand, unless it's just Belichick being a dick and forbidding him for talking to. But I don't see that happening.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys. Tim Tebow said it a lot when you would get asked to go on to like late night shows and stuff. Yeah. Obviously, you run it by the team.
Yeah.
And Tebow said that Belichick denied Tebow going on different things just because of the time frame, like just because of where Belichick doesn't like things becoming a spectacle.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't like the clown circus shit.
And so he may have said, hey, look, we're trying to stay focused up for what we're doing right now. Like, we're doing big things. If you want to do the interview at a later date, not like in the middle of when we're like in this groove, go for it type of thing.
Or he might have just said no.
Or he might have just said, hey, look, that not the time.
Yeah. Which is understandable. And Belichick is, tested and tried, true coach. Like, his word is law there.
Oh, 100%. And until, like, Belichick, for the Patriots to say, hey, look, we're moving on from you, that man would have to have a couple no-win seasons in a row.
I think he retires. I don't think he ever gets let go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he would have, like...
Yeah, the amount to shit the bed or fuck the dog.
He would literally, like... That man, with as many championships as he's helped, not by himself, but helped bring to that city, he has the get-out-jail-free card.
Well, he's also the GM, too. He makes all the decisions.
All football decisions, yeah.
All football decisions. And, dude, he almost got canned over the Tom Brady mess because Kraft almost fucking got rid of Belichick for Brady a few years ago, remember?
Yeah.
I don't know how close it was, but it was talked about that. It almost happened. So, but those would be the things. So, like, how Tony Romo, they used to call him, and again, I go back, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I always use Cowboys as a reference, but it makes sense. How when Tony Romo was the quarterback for the Cowboys, they called him Tony Jones. They said he was like Jerry Jones' son. You know what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't do no wrong in his eyes. And that was the same thing with Kraft and Brady. Like, that was Tom Kraft. Speaking of, just real fast to throw it in there, I was scrolling down sports stories when we started, and I just seen the headline. I'm not even going to open it or get into it, but Jerry Jones, if he's not at the game, he watches the game in the buff. So he gets buck naked and watches Cowboys games if he's not there. Like, that's weird. He reminds me... I love Jerry Jones. I think he's one of the most electric fucking animated owners, and he's done more for this league. Him, Kraft, and the late Al Davis have done more for this league than any other owners.
Honestly, Jerry Jones kind of reminds me of, like, the Mark Cuban of the NBA.
He reminds me...
Mark Cuban is like...
of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. And I just see a fucking bucket of skin watching a game. I don't even want to think about him in the buff. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
but like, just with how outspoken he is, like Mark Cuban's like that in the NBA, where he's got that fuck you money.
But the difference is when Jerry says something, it happens.
Well, that's how
Mark Cuban even he's been fined so many times. They would never even...
Well, yeah, because he said he intentionally cusses live at NBA games.
Well,
then when they ask him, hey, what do you think about that? And he's like, how much was it?
Yeah, what did you say, 50 grand? Well, let's get it up to...
Yeah, he's just like, this man, like...
He literally has fuck you money.
Like, he intentionally, because he knows, well, at least in the NBA, that he knows that the money goes to charities and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's going to charity?
And he's just... He's just like no other. Well, I mean, minus the NBA coach or the NBA owner that was forced out because of his comments that went out. You don't really hear from any other NBA coaches besides Mark Cuban.
Owners, you mean?
Owners, yeah.
Yeah. Like it's unless what's his name? Oh my God, what's it? Pat Riley did a little bit for the Heat,
but
not
he's
much.
Not an owner,
isn't he?
No, he was a GM.
Who's the owner
coach
of the Heat?
GM. I don't know who the coach is or the owner for the Heat is.
I'll have to look that up. But
And I mean, obviously, you hear stuff in LA with the Bus family, but that's just a lot of drama down there all the time.
So I did actually open the story because I was thinking about that. I'm like, he watches it in the nude. I just listened to on YouTube radio, the morning Cowboys Star radio interview that Jerry Jones was on right after our last win, the morning after, and he was saying that he probably holds a record for how many games he's been at. He goes to every home and every away game. He flies, private. So
if I owned a team and I had that kind of money, especially in an NBA season, you couldn't attend every game.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but
if you're in board meetings and stuff, you're bound to miss a game.
Well, so Jerry Jones says he goes to every game. So
that's what I'm saying.
And his press box has a big window. They always show him, his son, his grandkids. When does he have the time to? When can he watch it naked? So this has got to be fucking fake.
Fake ass news.
It's
clickbait news.
Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones keeps it super casual when the Dallas Cowboys aren't playing. When they're not playing on Sundays. He watches games buck naked.
Oh, so when they're not playing, or like if the playoffs happen and they just don't happen to be in the playoffs.
Fuck off, okay? I don't want to talk about it. Or it's Thursday, If we play Thursday night, we don't play Sunday, or play Monday. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's gross sense, but
as an NFL owner, I would go to every game.
Hell yeah,
because you're really only committing to
16, 17 now.
17, hopefully 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're hoping on the high end 20.
Yeah. He goes every preseason, everything.
But see, to me, like as an owner, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like as an MLB owner,
no, hell no.
Or an NBA owner, or even a hockey owner, like.
How many games hockey play? Like 6, 7, 80?
I don't know.
It's a big number. But yeah, I mean, the NBA is 82. Baseball is 162. Yeah, fuck all that noise. You'd be jet lagged every day of your life.
I'm not even saying like, you have the money to do it, but like those guys that have that kind of money, like Mark Cuban, Jerry Jones, like they have businesses they still have.
Well, I mean, Mark Cuban, Shark Tank and shit. At least try to attend every home game. But. I know we're cut for time. What?
It's 56 games is what the NHL is.
Okay. Still a lot of games. So, Alden Smith got a fucking DUI. Alden Smith, for the people that don't know, was drafted to the 49ers back in like 2011 or 2013. I think he won Rookie of the Year.
He's been a stud.
Yeah, he was. And then he got in trouble and in San Francisco, Santa Clara, where the team's located, and he got DUI. Like literally, this man, somebody came out of their house because they heard something, and it was like 5 or 6 in the morning. His Mercedes, I believe, hit their tree in the front yard. He was sleeping. The car was like out of a movie, stuck like against a tree, the front end, and the tires were spinning. He was just on the accelerator. Like, they had to reach in over him and turn it off and yada yada. He got a domestic violence thing that turned out to be, they said, false, and he didn't get, like, they dropped charges. They said the girl was lying. He got caught. He went to a party and got stabbed, all within, like, a couple years. And then he got caught with, like, fucking heavy machinery guns.
So on Wikipedia, and we all know Wikipedia sometimes isn't 1,000% accurate. You don't see this on most players' Wikipedia pages. There's a legal issue section.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to read all of them because that'll take too long. But I'm going to count
there's a lot.
How many? And this started in 2012.
A gun at the airport.
And this goes all the way to
bomb threat. Sorry.
April 19th. So this doesn't even add the newest one that just happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Jesus. And now 11. That we know of.
That's 11 things that are listed on, 10 plus the 1, listed on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It started with a DUI in Miami.
Oh, that's right. That was the first one.
In January of 2012.
A DUI in Santa Clara. the guns thing, then the controversy because he didn't get charged. This guy was literally driving down the street in Santa Clara or whatnot by himself, saw a house party, pulled over, went in, and hung out. Mind you, this is Alden Smith playing for the 49ers. I'm sure this is 49ers fans probably. I mean, in the Bay Area, usually it was cut down the middle. The Raiders or Niners, but you're in Santa Clara where their stadium is at and where they're probably 49ers fans. Yeah. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm a Cowboys fan and I don't like the 49ers. But if Alden Smith, who was playing for the 49ers at the time, shows up at my house and I'm having a party, oh, dude, come on in. Let's take some shots, you know? Right. But he ended up getting stabbed for, I don't know. He had addiction issues with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, so that happened that same year, June 30th. He was believed to have suffered stab wounds attempting to break up a fight at a house party.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No, at his residence?
Oh, this was at his? I could have sworn.
There were 2 other people that were shot in the residence.
Oh, shit. You ain't fighting a big motherfucker like that. You got to lay his ass down. So, either way, a lot of issues. And then he went from the 49ers, got suspended. Yet they released him. The Raiders ended up picking him up, which the Raiders and Cowboys always do.
He was released in August of 2015 because he had gotten into a hit and run while DUI. And so the Niners were like, we're done.
And this is after a bomb threat at the fucking airport.
He claimed he was carrying a bomb.
At the airport. This is mental health. It has mental health written all over it. You know?
100%. So, you don't make that joke in an airport?
And he wasn't joking. I mean, he was lying. But he wasn't like, ha-ha.
That's what I'm saying. You don't make that comment.
You don't say anything related to that shit.
If you're in clear mental health.
No, yeah, exactly.
Or it's either one thing. You actually have a bomb.
Yeah.
Or you...
But people that usually have a bomb usually don't say it either.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, like, really, when you say you have a bomb, there's 2 things. Either you really do have a bomb and you're just trying to scare everybody because you want to do whatever your plan is. Yeah. Or 2, you're just not in the right state of mind.
Or 3, you think you're fucking funny and you're not.
So
the Niners released him. The Raiders ended up picking him up after his suspension was cleared. And he fucking beasted out for them and put up big fucking numbers. I think he got more shit, if I'm not mistaken. They released him. He was out of the NFL for 3 years, training with Jay Glazer at his gym, who helps rehabilitate vets and help them with their PTSD. And they trained together, and he really had a coming to God moment. Is that the expression? He was completely sober for the first time in a long time. And he was like the best physical specimen he had ever been. The Cowboys picked him up and went through that whole suspension, waiting. We signed him, put up fucking beast-ass numbers with us. Huge numbers with us. He ended up getting released. I don't know if it was I don't think it was an issue. I don't remember what it was for. Signed to the fucking Seahawks practice squad. Mm-hmm. That was the last place. Was he on the practice squad? No. I think he was out. I think they released him and got another DUI just a few days ago in Santa Clara, which is where the 49ers, I mean, he played his longest stint in the Bay Area, probably for the 49ers, so I'm sure he had bought a house or a condo and established, so he probably moved back there because of that reason,
And so he holds 2 NFL records and 2 49ers franchise records.
Fucking Jesus.
So he holds the NFL record for fastest player in history to reach 30 sacks.
Jeez, that's a big fucking record.
Took him 27 games.
Jeez. 30 sacks?
Mm-hmm.
So he did it how many games?
27.
27. So a season and a half.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Most sacks in a player's first 2 seasons, 33 and a half.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Most sacks by a rookie in a single season for the Niners, which is 14 in his rookie season. And then it said most sacks in a single season for the 49ers at 19 and a half.
So yeah, I remember that because he was on the cusp. They were trying to break that record.
Yeah, he was trying to get to the NFL record.
Which is Strahan at 22 and a half?
21 and a half? 20 and a half? Something like that.
I know there's a half on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, fucking phenomenal player, but his career has been plagued by mental health or addiction. It's super
22
sad.
and a half.
Yeah, that's what is what I thought it was.
I thought it was 29.
It's
I knew it was a half.
It's sad. It's just really sad. And that last sack he got to break the record, it was Favre, gave up. He laid down for him, or it was Brady. He literally, when Strahan burst through, he knew he was getting sacked, and instead of getting laid out, he laid down and gave himself up, which Strahan broke the record. Was it LT's record before that? Or no, it was dude that used to play for the Vikings. Right? Who was that dude with the Vikings? The big-ass white dude. Always did the lasso. Oh, like he was...
Gastineau?
Oh, no, that dude played like in the 80s, 70s.
84.
84, okay.
He had 22. And then Strahan said it in 2001.
Yeah.
And so since Strahan has said it, 2 other players have gotten 22.
That sucks, dude. I'd rather have fucking 15 than 22. You know what I'm saying?
That's one of those things that I always say. I would rather lose by 15 most of the time.
Blown out.
Than by 1 point.
Oh, yeah. And a buzzer beater kind of thing. So Alden Smith, he was arrested for DUI causing injury. He was a former top 10. Yeah, let me see. Felony.
Sack yardage. I didn't even know this was a stat that anybody tracked.
So how many
yards back?
Yeah.
Aaron Donald in 2018 had 20 and a half sacks.
Jesus.
And had more sack yardage.
Oh, shit.
Than Michael Strahan's 22 and a half.
How many yards does it say?
Yeah, so 183 and a half yards is what Aaron Donald sacked people for.
I'm sorry, what was it?
183.5 yards lost.
He had motherfuckers on there running. They were on their heels running. Oh, shit! Running backwards.
Strahan's was 177 and a half.
Damn. That's crazy. Dude, his DUI says there's an update. According to this is TMZ. According to police documents obtained by TMZ Sports, Smith was involved in a 2-car accident at 2:17 p.m. in San Mateo County. Somebody suffered a minor injury in the crash. 2:17. If I want to drink, I wait. Literally, I'll look at the clock and it's like, 4:49 or 4:58, and I'll be like, nope, I'm not going to crack a beer until 5. It's my thing. I don't know if it's my OCD. I'm like, I have to wait till 5 o'clock because those 2 minutes is the difference between me being an alcoholic or not. No, I don't. You know what I'm saying though? Like I'll be cooking and stuff. I'll be like, it's not 5 o'clock yet.
I used to back in the day. Obviously, we used to day drink a little bit.
I've never been in a day drink because I get tired.
But that's my thing.
We went to the fair though.
I've learned that over the years.
Jesus.
If you day drink, there's one of 2 things that happen.
You go overnight.
You're either gonna go to sleep, or you have to just
continue
steadily drink, and it's like you can either stay steady and keep that good buzz.
That was never us, dude.
Or that's what I'm saying. You just go way too hard.
We get balls deep, bro.
And by 10:30, you don't remember if you get to 10:30.
Yeah, we went to the county fair here years ago. Big Mike, myself, and one of our best friends, David. And Mike footed the whole bill. He was balling out of control. Single life back then.
Facts, bro. I'm always like, dude, if
you had the money that you had then, now,
or if they just would have been smart as a single person instead of
this man
blowing $600 at a bar in one night.
Oh my goodness, dude! This man bought all 3 of us drinks, and our brother David, he's not a drinker at all. But if he does drink, he drinks very strong whiskey drinks, and he bought the 3 of us drinks all day. I mean, mind you, my wife was there with our 1 kid at the time. We didn't have our daughter. And we're just getting fucking turned. I remember the wife, because we have an SUV that has 3rd row, so we were all crammed into this thing. And Big Mike is named Big Mike for a reason. This boy's 6'4" and shit. And I remember her just being like, oh my fucking God. She's always the mom of the group, the responsible one, and we're always those not loud, but those wild kids, in situations like that. Never disrespectful or over the top. But I remember getting in the truck and her just being like, you guys are fucking ridiculous. And we were just laughing. But I remember that the goal was to have a full, because we were going to take the party back to the house after the fair, and the goal was to have a full beer pong cup set plus 2 water cups to clean the balls off in.
Yeah. And
we overachieved that.
Yeah.
We had backups in case some broke. We had a stack of cups. Most people get a drink at the fair and they throw the cup away. Oh, no. We were, it was
around with stacks.
It was a goal. It was, a fun time. We were young, but it is what it is.
So the crazy thing, as I'm looking at this sack thing, so we established Strahan had 177 and a half sack yards.
Minus yards for the quarterback.
on 22 and a half sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Houston, who is...
Sorry.
He's 2014 with Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
He, in 16 games, was a half a sack away.
Imagine if 17 games, he probably would have got it.
You want to know his sack yardage?
Low or high?
Double digits.
Holy shit.
So
like 80?
99.
Damn.
This man, like, what was he doing? Like, was he just blowing up the guard?
Yeah,
and just like
before the quarterback could even step back.
Like
Holy
the discrepancy there is like 100, almost 100 yards difference.
That's and well, think about that. 99 divided by 22. I mean, that's under fucking 5 yards. So the quarterback didn't even get 5 yards deep.
Average, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, it's average. Yeah, you're right. Some of them might.
I mean, he could have hit a dude for 10 and then another one for 1.
Or the quarterback's, trying to sneak it and gets to the line and dropped. Anything according be recorded as a sack, the quarterback cannot pass the line of scrimmage. So he might scramble all the way to the sideline and try to run, but if you get him before he passes the line of scrimmage, then it's a sack.
Yeah.
So, or if he fucking stumbles over his own feet and falls, and you
touches him,
yeah, that's what happened. That's how Strahan got the record. I want to say it was Brett Favre dropped back, and he seen Strahan had him dead to rights, and he just said, "Yeah, no, not gonna end my life today," and he just laid his body on the ground.
Just gave it up.
Yeah, Strahan touched him. Either way, there's a lot of controversy. People don't think that he won the sack record because of that, but he had him dead to rights. Most likely, he was going to get it either way. I mean, yeah, Favre could have thrown it away. He could have fucking intentional grounded it. And if you want to be a dick and not give him, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So
it was Brett Favre.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. So with that, I do want to say congratulations to Deion Sanders, coach of Jackson State. They're in the SWAC conference.
So whack.
Yeah, right. It's an HBCU, which stands for Historically Black College University. So, and there's
collegiate university.
Collegiate university. Okay, there's a handful of them, especially in the South, and it's they were, it was the black people made these colleges because
it's a Division I school, by the way.
It's low. It's
low Division I, but it's still a Division I school for him to.
He took them from having a losing record, and they won the SWAC conference championships for the first time since 2007, and they went 11-1. Deion has one of those coaching minds. He doesn't let his ego get in the way, and he's very good with the kids. And when he came over, since he has a deal with Under Armour, they got all new swag, like all new uniforms. Deion made sure of it. And he said that you only play as good as you feel. And to feel good, you want to look good. You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. And obviously,
I mean,
he's doing something,
Yeah, he said that since
he got drafted or before.
Yeah.
With the Jerry Riva shirt from his draft day, and it's a picture of him with his Jerry curl with that big ass brick phone and his gold on and sunglasses and shit. But Deion's my favorite player of all time. I idolized Deion growing up. I played cornerback when I played football because of Deion Sanders. I mimicked and everything. So, but I just want to shout out Deion Sanders. Congratulations to the GOAT. So, yeah. With that, what else you want to step into on this? Deshaun Watson got released from the Texans. They released him. I didn't read into it. They released him not too long ago. So that's that.
Yeah. So he was named. Yeah, it's a year. It was his first year there.
First year. Okay, that's what I thought.
I was trying to see. So it says, Coach Deion Sanders is good for college football.
Oh yeah, especially for the HBCUs. He was bringing 5-star recruits to the HBCUs, which usually they go to powerhouses like Ohio State, Alabama. What's the other ones we were just talking about earlier? Bama, Ohio State.
Like Oklahoma,
USC. That's usually where 5-star recruits sign. And there's been a lot of debate about that. Brandon Marshall speaks about it on his podcast, which is an amazing podcast, by the way, called I Am Athlete, which most people probably have heard of. He speaks about the importance of HBCUs and athletes signing to them. And with it being historically black, it doesn't mean you can't go to HBCU if you're white. Like, they accept everybody, but
Yeah.
it's historically black because there was a time where black people were not allowed to go to white colleges, or they just denied them. So they said, oh, fuck us, no, fuck you. They made their own colleges. And these are some prestigious colleges who have given birth to educational birth to some of the most brilliant minds in history, you know? So, but again, congratulations to Dion. We talked about that. Deshaun Watson is released. That's a whole shit show. I guess Miami's deal that they were going to sign, or they were going to pull off with the Texans, I read a while ago, was that they were willing to do the trade if he settled the lawsuits, which, you know, monetarily, probably money-wise, and obviously with 20-something of them, he didn't, and so the Dolphins dropped out, said we're not going to take him.
Yeah.
He's got too much. We talked about that. I wonder how that would work. Well, that's how that worked. We talked about on the podcast a few weeks ago about that teenage female, the girls' basketball game, where you could clearly hear the mom saying, hit that bitch, and her daughter, who was very significantly bigger than the victim, cold cocked her, blindsided her, slept. Well, I don't know if she slept her, but she fucking did some damage.
Yeah, that was.
Well, finally, news broke that the mom is being charged with 2 misdemeanors for assault and battery and contributing to the delinquency of a minor, because she told her daughter to do it, and her daughter did it. I don't know what's come of the daughter, what penalty she's faced. It didn't really say, but
It's a lot harder to find shit out about minors.
yeah,
too.
absolutely.
That's, like,
and this is the baby, an ex NBA player's kid's mother, without baby mama, I guess. So, how about Steph Curry, dude? 10 3-pointers away from breaking, who was it, Ray Allen, taking Ray Allen's spot for most 3-pointers made in a career. And the thing is, Steph's been in the league for 11 to 13 years, and he's about to break it. And Ray Allen he retired after 17 years.
Yeah.
So he's doing in what, little under a third of a time, or a half.
That's like 2/3 of the
yeah,
time.
two-thirds of the career that Ray Allen has, and he's, barring catastrophic injury, he's gonna break this record and just completely reset the bar.
And 100%. It's one of those things is people will argue that the game was different, and I mean it was.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, even Ray Allen himself is respecting what he's watching.
Absolutely. Reggie Miller, who we just passed last, did a whole sit down with him and told him how fucking much of a fan he was.
Reggie Miller was announcing the game that Ray Allen passed Reggie Miller, and they gave love on the sideline, and like.
That's crazy. Yeah, and so that goes back to like you said, they're saying there's going to be like people that argue or debate that. Same thing with now that there's 17 weeks in an NFL season, or 17 games. Now the sack record, if someone breaks it, they're gonna be like, well, they had 17 games. You know, if it takes a full 17
games. Well, it's crazy.
Games.
Some of these guys in the top 10 for sacks played 12 games.
That's yes.
Like,
but if you do it in 17 and you get the record breaker in game 17, it's not going to show that in the record books. It's not going to be an asterisk. Like you said about the Lakers, the COVID championship, it's not going to have an asterisk. It's just going to show that the Lakers had won. Whatever, it is what it is, you know? So, and speaking of the Lakers, there was, LeBron said something I'm not going to quote because I didn't read the quote. I really don't care for LeBron, to be honest, about retiring after the season if they don't really do shit, which I think he'll walk back his words. I don't think he's going to retire either way.
Well, it's like he said multiple times he's not going to leave until he gets to play against
at least
Bronny.
one season with his son, yeah. Right?
Again, he wants to play with him, but
yeah.
I mean,
I think the Lakers would do that for him. You know.
I mean, Bronny's been going off, bro.
Yeah, and he wasn't even a starter for a while, But then he's on a powerhouse team down there in LA with I think Carmelo Anthony's son. Is Dwayne Wade? There's some big names on that team. Sons. Shaq's son is on there. So, I don't know. I wish LeBron would retire, but, I mean, he's just going to flop at his fucking press conference to retire. I'm taking my talents to
my house.
Yeah, the couch. No, he's as a person off the court. From what I've heard and seen, he's a philanthropist. He's an amazing father, amazing husband. He does no wrong off the court. On the court, you know where I stand on that. Yeah, is there anything else you want to discuss?
I mean, we mentioned the MLB is officially in lockout.
Yeah.
The owners are locking out, so the players can't use the facilities or anything because
can't even talk to the front office or the manager.
Anybody, yeah. So players and team cannot have communications right now because their union agreement has not been come to. As of right now, they're saying it shouldn't affect the regular season, may affect spring training, but
yeah. But I mean, this has happened before, like, and if it, like I was telling Big earlier, if this was the NBA or NFL, I'd be like, no, but it's the MLB. I love watching MLB. We're Giants fans, and we love watching games, and we'll sit through them and watch them, but it's not as heavy on the heart as if it was NFL.
Well, that's the thing is with it goes back to that 162 games. If you miss a few games,
yeah, it's not a big deal.
But if you miss one of your NFL games, that's a huge chunk of their season.
Dude, I've been missing games, coaching on Sundays, or practice on Thursdays. Whatever, it is what it is, though. Do it for the kids, but
yeah.
So there's the lockout, and I'm sure that'll get resolved. The only thing I had left on my list was the Patriots versus Bills, and only 3 passes in that game.
Only 2 were completed too. That's the crazy thing.
They said 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, so they only threw 3. The Patriots only threw 3 times. Only completed 2. Were they for big yards?
It was like 19 yards, I think, is what it was. It was
like 60 runs between 2 backs.
Yeah, so the main back who had all the yards, I don't remember his name right now, had 11 carries. No, 10 carries for 111 yards and a touchdown.
It's good numbers. Averaging 11 yards.
It was 11.1 yards is what the average was.
Because if you're averaging like 4.6 to fucking 5,
and
that's great.
The second guy rushed for 24 attempts on 78 yards, which is almost 4 yards a carry.
Which is still really good.
And then there was a guy who had, on like 8 attempts, had 20-something yards.
That's not good at all, but...
28 yards or something. Well, that averaged out to like... His average was higher than the guy with 70-something yards, just because of the amount of carries. So they, as a team, had like 220 rushing yards.
Yeah, I thought you said it was 205 earlier.
I just roughly did.
I thought we talked.
I didn't add it up exactly. So just over 200 yards, which for a team is good.
Yeah, it's good, but it's low when you have 3 backs and you rush it 60 fucking times.
Yeah,
that's really low. But mind you, it was fucking 40 mile an hour winds and all that shit. So they ended up winning 14 to 10, and they
only scored 1 touchdown.
Yeah. A touchdown, 2-point conversion, and then ended up kicking 2 field goals. Big Mike looked it up earlier. But I'm like, the winds had to have subsided unless this guy was kicking to the sideline and he was curving it like a boomerang back.
And I didn't see how long the field goals were.
Yeah.
So they could have been shorter field goals.
But if you're not even going for a point after, like you would think. So I'm guessing the winds subsided for them to even kick a field goal attempt.
Well, yeah. Because honestly, the Patriots scored first, so it wasn't like they went for 2 just so they could have the lead. They scored first.
Yeah, so they didn't want to kick.
They didn't want to kick, so the winds had to have died down a little bit at least.
Absolutely. So, but we've cleared my list. I don't think we usually do that. Like we've cleared every single thing on my list. Oh, are we doing picks or just holding off? Because I don't know if we got to get out of here now or not.
We can run them real fast right here at the end.
All right.
We haven't even talked about them, but Saints versus Jets.
Saints.
I'm going to take Saints. Falcons versus Panthers.
Panthers.
I'll go Panthers too. Seahawks versus Texans. Seahawks.
Yeah, definitely. Seahawks.
Raiders versus Chiefs.
I'm not going to bet against the Raiders. I like the Raiders. I think
I'll go against them. You know what? Yeah, I'll go against them. I need... For my team in that division, I need them to beat the Chiefs.
Broncos fan, yes.
Because now it's really, really realistically right now, the way the Raiders have been playing, and the Chargers have been playing, it's really us and the Chiefs that are right there at the top of the division.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I need the Raiders to win to bring the Chiefs down, but the problem is that also brings the Raiders up. So it's like...
Yeah, but you want to take the big dogs out.
Ravens versus Browns.
I'm going to go Ravens. Browns have been kind of imploding a little bit.
I'm going to go Ravens. Cowboys versus football team. Cowboys. Jags versus Titans. I'll take the Titans.
I'll take the tight ends.
Lions versus Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos. They better not.
Broncos.
Lions better not get their second win.
I'm going Lions. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm going Lions. Fuck it.
They better not give up a second win. Oh, speaking of Lions, have you seen? There's like videos going viral. One of their players, his wife is on the Olympic team for track and field.
I know that there's a couple players that have,
and so he's missed a lot of her events because obviously he has his own job.
Yeah.
And so like the team will let him use like one of the conference rooms and they put it up on like the big screen and like he's in there, bro, like front and center, like screaming for her.
That's dope.
Like he's just like cheering, and obviously she can't hear him. And like he's got his buddies around and they're all like,
that's fucking cool, bro.
Hyping up, bro. And like, so her first race, she did really good. Her second race, it's an outdoor event, and it was pouring rain, but they still have to run their event.
Yeah.
And so she didn't get the time she wanted. And so, like, I guess he was all bummed out. He texted her, like, this long thing talking about how, like, that number on the scoreboard doesn't define you, blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
dope.
But I just thought it was dope that the team set up where he could go in, like, after practice. He literally, like, had his practice gear sitting around him so that he could be there for the start of, like...
That's cool, bro. That's good.
They did get their first win.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to be their second win.
And they got a tie also. And then I think Travis Kelce, he's married to a soccer star that played for Team USA, gold medalist.
Yeah.
There's a few NFL players that I know of that are married to female athletes.
Giants versus Chargers.
Chargers.
I'm going Chargers. I need the Chargers to lose.
Yeah.
The Chargers are a better team.
Yeah, absolutely.
49ers, Bengals. I'm going Bengals.
I can't stand the 49ers.
Bills, Buccaneers.
Ooh, Buccaneers have 10 wins. I'm going Bucks. Even though I want them to lose.
I'm going to go Bills on the upset.
Okay. Yeah.
Bears versus Packers.
Packers.
I'm going to go Packers. Fields will be back in the lineup this week, though, for the Bears.
Ooh.
Justin Fields will be. I saw something on that.
Might have some rust on him.
He's been out. Yeah, he's missed 2 weeks. Rams versus Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals. The Rams have been...
Yeah, I'm going Cardinals. I can't stand the Rams.
And then Thursday night's games would be Chiefs versus Chargers. That's a tough one.
I'm going Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will pull it out, to be honest. I want the Chargers to.
I'm gonna go Chiefs because I just feel like they're
which is crazy to me
because the Chargers last year finished the season and I thought they were going to come into the season as like one of the front runners for that division.
They've kind of taken the backseat.
And I don't know if Herbert might have hit that sophomore wall or whatever.
Yeah,
they call it.
Yeah. But
yeah, so that's it for this episode.
Yeah, we appreciate all one of you. No, we appreciate the listeners and viewers. We really do. You don't know how much it means to us. And hopefully we can grow this channel into something to where eventually this will be our full-time job and we can give back to not only you guys but the community and do good for others. Yeah, episode 23, it's a wrap. Peace.